Hello again to all listeners and subscribers of this channel. Today, I will be posting 12 ancient sites that are not Egypt, part 2, numbers 5 through 8. Again, the reason I created this series was to help us expose, even in a small way, to people, the reality of all the different megalithic structures all over the globe, all the ancient ones. We cannot continue to confine ourselves to Egypt/Kemet when it comes to how we look at the achievements of our ancestors. We've got to expand our consciousness of the ancient world and gain more well-rounded knowledge and understanding of what human beings did in the past and what a human being really is. But without any further ado, let's continue on with the series. Site number 5. I call it the Citadel of Benin of ancient West Africa or southwestern Nigeria. What is the Citadel, or this great ancient city? This superstructure is actually a combination of many different things. What people call the walls of Benin was actually a combination of multiple massive walls and ramparts, moats that surrounded them. The ancient Benin city that was surrounded by these walls and moats and ramparts, which was basically the central capital of the Benin Empire or the Benin Kingdom, which also had a smaller city inside of that city that was also surrounded by even more walls. So you had a citadel or a small city surrounded by walls. Surrounding that was an even larger city, which was basically the main capital of the Benin Kingdom. And the walls were one of the major features of this central capital of the Benin Kingdom. There also was a palace within this place. Very interesting information. Inner walls, outer walls that surrounded a great and very advanced civilization that many people to this day don't even know it exists. And a lot of people still profess really ignorant statements like Africans never built anything before Europeans arrived. Well, you're wrong. Let's get to it. Who built it? The original founder of the Benin Kingdom was the Edo people, I believe, who were originally ruled by the Ogiso, which translates to kings from the sky. According to the oral history, the founder of the kingdom was an Ogiso, Sky King, and his name was King Ogida. Who discovered it? Much of the site at the Benin Kingdom was excavated by Graham Kona, a British archaeologist. I forgot to put what time they did that, but that's who was credited with excavating it. Who inherited it? The kingdom was ruled by the Edo people, but many other ethnic groups such as the Igbo, the Ijaz, and the Robos also had prominence within the kingdom and in the kingdom's upper echelons. Many of the people who resided within the ancient Benin were the descendants, and they live in what is now Benin City and the surrounding areas, all the way from Lagos in the west all the way down to the Delta State in the south central region of Nigeria. Where is it located? The remains of the citadel, the walls, and the ancient city of Benin are now located in and around what is now the modern-day Benin city of southwestern Nigeria. And the exact coordinates, or close to the coordinates of where the remains sit in, is around 6 degrees, 20 minutes, and 0 seconds north, and 5 degrees, 37 minutes, 0 seconds east. Again, southern and parts of western Nigeria, the southwestern corridor. When was the ancient Benin city constructed? The city itself, the citadel, the overall kingdom, and the walls were all constructed roughly around between the years of 700 CE and 1500 CE. Why was it built? Well, apparently it was built originally as something that I guess was considered somewhat religious, but ultimately expanded into a greater kingdom that provided resources, shared and bartered and traded goods, and ended up being a very wealthy and powerful kingdom that interacted with other kingdoms and states throughout Africa and throughout even parts of areas outside of Africa. So it was built basically for a lot of worship, but also a lot of government and commerce. Construction style. Almost the entirety of the walls, moats, ramparts, citadel, and palace was made up of mud bricks, earthen material, sometimes stone, and also a lot of wood. Interesting facts about the ancient superstructure. There are several interesting facts for this ancient superstructure of West Africa that unfortunately most people don't know about. 1. Igodo Migodo, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, was the name of the original kingdom. It was named by King Ogido, the first Ogiso, again, the ones that rule from the sky. It eventually changed to Edo under Oba Ewika, and eventually it became known as Benin under the Oba Ewuare. Number 2, the kingdom transferred its rule from the Ogisos, kings of the sky, to the Oba, who are considered the kings or the rulers or the emperors of this great and ancient state. And this occurred over many centuries. Number 3, Benin is not its original name nor its original pronunciation of the city. Igodo Migodo was his first name. Edo was his next name. And then Benin is his most recent name. But the name Benin was not actually the correct pronunciation. The term Ubinu was a name for the tribe or the ethnic group that existed within the Edo people. Because the Benin kingdom had become so multicultural, they invited so many different people from different parts of the world who wanted to live there, trade there, buy things, sell goods. Certain groups of foreigners, mainly Portuguese, had a hard time pronouncing the name Ubinu. So they shortened it or changed it to become Benin. It was easier for them to pronounce it that way. And over time, because this pronunciation became easier, other groups of people eventually adopted this new pronunciation of the Ubinu people. And everyone started using the term Benin as the name of the capital city. Number 4, do not confuse the Benin kingdom with the Benin city. Benin city, again, was more of a capital, palace, sort of, and also a place of commercial center for trade within the greater Benin kingdom. The Benin kingdom was a city-state/empire that grew to great prominence over the course of roughly almost about 1,000 years. So roughly 1 millennia. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. West Africans create a kingdom that could last at almost a millennia. But in the regular history classes, they'll never tell you that for various reasons. Number 5, the major groups of people who not only lived within the Benin kingdom, but may have also been descended from the royalty or had ties to the upper echelons in the capital city were the Igbo, the Shekiri, the Isan, the Ija, the Edo, and last but certainly not least, the Urobo. Many of which have their descendants living all over the world, but also a lot of them are living in and around that same area to this day. It's also said that a lot of these people tend to do disproportionately well both in Nigeria and abroad when it comes to academics, which is very interesting. Number 6, the Great Walls and the Citadel of Benin were destroyed by the British in 1897, but that didn't destroy all of the ancient superstructure. Much of it was left intact even after the British invasion. But even more of the walls and the citadel were destroyed by weather erosion and the locals who were using it as building material within their area. Number 7. There's currently an effort to preserve the remainder of the walls from further damage by weather and local constructions. The different features of ancient Benin have been suggested to be a World Heritage Site on the UNESCO's website. It hasn't been approved yet, sadly. Hopefully that'll change in the near future. Number 8. Benin may have been one of the wealthiest empires in all of West Africa at its height between about 1000 to 1500 CE. Number 9. The walls of Benin may actually be one of the largest pre-industrial earthworks ever excavated anywhere on the planet so far. Site number 6. The Kofun of Japan. What is the Kofun of Japan? They are giant megalithic tomb structures that are dotted all over Japan, and there's thousands of them. Very interesting. Who built them? There doesn't appear to be enough evidence pointing directly to the exact builders, but the people that actually constructed the Kofun tombs, as best as I can tell, were built by the ancient Japanese people as supposed burial mounds for their emperor or rulers of Japan at that time. Who discovered it? 2 men named Ernest Mason Satow and William Gowland are credited with discovering, as Westerners, the Kofun tombs. Interesting info about Japanese archaeology was also discovered by them, and they exposed this information to the world through their writings. Who inherited the Kofun? The Kofun have always been under the control of the Japanese people. They've never been taken by anyone else, disrespected, nor damaged by any non-Japanese people in any way, as far as I can see. Where is the Kofun located? There are many of them dotted all over Japan. And all over 4 islands you can find some version of a Kofun somewhere. Because there's such a huge number of them all over the Japanese 4 islands, I will supply a list in the description box of many of the archaeological sites where the Kofun are located and their coordinates. When were the Kofun constructed? The Kofun, or ancient megalithic tombs of Japan, were built between the 3rd and 7th century CE or ACE. So sometime between the year 300 all the way up to about the year 600, according to the studies. Why were these things built? They all were apparently built as burial tombs for different leaders or important people that lived in Japan at the time, or then died in Japan at the time. Although why some of them are so large, we don't know. And is there proof that each and every one of them was indeed a burial mound? Mostly yes, but with some it's speculated that they may have had another unknown use. What that use may have been, we don't know. At least not right now. Construction style. The Kofun were large, mound-like structures usually made of stone, buried under earth, and sometimes surrounded by a moat, especially the very large ones. They range in size from a few meters to over 400 meters in length. Many of the Kofun are either round or square-shaped, but there are some that have a very distinct shape. These distinct Kofun are shaped like giant keyholes. So they have a roundness on the top that's connected to a square or a kind of trapezoid shape on the bottom. So think of a giant keyhole being planted into the ground but raised up in the middle. And it's a dome kind of shape. It's very convex from the sides all the way to the middle, raised up key shape directly in the ground. That's what a lot of them look like. You'll see that in the images behind in this video, in the background. Now, interesting fact about these ancient superstructures of Japan, the Kofun. 1. The era in which these giant megalithic tombs were constructed is called the Kofun period. This was preceded by the Yayoi period between 300 BCE and 300 ACE, and it was succeeded by the Asuka period of about 540 CE all the way to about 710 CE. Number 2, the Kofun usually have pottery and or small statues placed inside or around them or near or underneath the perimeter of the actual structure. These statues and pottery that was placed there, they were called the haniwa, and were usually found, like I said, in, under, or near the circumference of the Kofun itself. Fact number 3. A total of about 161,560 Kofun tomb sites have been found as of 2001, which is insane. Hyogo Prefecture has the largest number of Kofun sites as 16,577 sites. And the Shiba Prefecture has the second highest number of Kofun sites at 13,112 sites. So again, Hyogo Prefecture has 16,577 sites of Kofun structures, and Chiba Prefecture has about 13,112 Kofun sites. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Site number 7. The Standing Stones of Australia. What are the Standing Stones of Australia? Apparently, it's an arrangement of large stones placed in what may have been a long line that led up to a circle that had a cross in it, apparently. Researchers from Australia have compared this ancient circle construction or ancient circle site to the Great Stonehenge of Britain. Who built it? The original builders are unknown. Who discovered it? It was found and explored by the president of the Australian Archaeological and Education Research Society. His name was Frederick Slater, and he discovered it in the year 1939. Who inherited it? We're not sure. It appears to have been abandoned for what appears to be 1,000 or thousands of years, actually. Where is it located? According to the research conducted, the site is somewhere in the northern area of New South Wales, but the exact location is being hidden for the site's safety from damage or marauders or whoever might cause harm to it. When was it constructed? No date has been given for its actual construction. Why was it built? Not much is known, although it is speculated that the stones had an ancient written language on them consisting of up to 28,000 words, and it may have been some type of site dealing with, I guess, constellation. But again, that's only speculation. Construction style. The stones were primarily made up of what appears to be sandstone rock, and according to Slater and the Strongs, the father and son team, the Strongs, but there's no mention of how the stones were cut, erected, or moved into the place where they were found. Now, interesting facts about the ancient superstructure. Few facts. 1. The sandstone rocks in this apparent Australian megalith may have been quarried from a site more than 20 kilometers or about 12.5 miles away. Number 2. The original documents produced by Frederick Slater in the 1930s and early 1940s were lost, and the father and son team, Stephen and Evan Strong, have been working hard to recover the documentation Slater had regarding this megalithic site. Number 3. Unlike many ancient sites, this site was badly damaged to the point where studying it any further was extremely difficult. Number 4. Slater believes that this site has some connection between Australia and ancient Egypt, but has not been fully confirmed by him or anyone else. Although he, Evan, and Stephen Strong do strongly believe this apparently. You'll see that in the links in the description. So, on to the next one. Site number 8. The Newgrange Circle Mound of Ireland. What is Newgrange? Newgrange is a giant circle mound of Ireland. It is also considered a passage tomb of some sorts, although that claim is challenged by quite a few researchers, such as James Swagger, who is awesome. I wish he would get back onto YouTube. I don't know what happened to him, but he talks a lot about the passage tomb, so-called passage tomb of Newgrange. But yet, it's said to be a passage tomb, but there is a lot of evidence suggesting that it may have had something to do with acoustics. If not, it definitely has something to do with some type of solar or celestial alignment. Who built it? Newgrange of Ireland was built by most likely Stone Age farmers that lived in Ireland at the time, although it had been speculated that the native Irish people never built it. Its construction has been linked to the Vikings, the Phoenicians, and even the ancient Egyptians. There we go with the Egyptians again. Who discovered it? Like a few other sites on this list, it was never fully lost or fully abandoned, so it was never really discovered. It has always been known to the Irish people as a great and impressive ancient stone structure. Who inherited it? The Great Mound of Newgrange has always been taken care of and or used for different practices by the native Irish people for thousands of years ever since it was first built. Where is Newgrange located? Newgrange is located in Ireland's Boyne Valley in the far northeast in Meath County, and the exact coordinates are 53 degrees, 41 minutes, 39.73 seconds north, and 6 degrees, 28 minutes, 30.11 seconds west. When was Newgrange constructed? It apparently was constructed around 3,200 BCE, or roughly 5,200 years ago. Why was it built? Now, many people who have researched it, they say that it was built as some kind of passage tomb or passage grave. But other researchers have found that it may have had more to do with celestial alignments and possibly even some type of acoustic effect. Still, many others claim it was mythological. It was a mythological monument, had something to do with their mythology, their belief in gods, whatever mystical belief they had. Others have theorized that it was used for astronomy, engineering, geometry, and some type of ancestral worship. Construction style. Newgrange is built as a giant circular mound made up of mostly stone and earth. It has a wall made up of pebbles and small rocks. It has a grassy dome top and a passageway that goes all the way through the structure. It also was surrounded on the outside perimeter by what may have been nearly 40 standing stones, of which only 12 of them stand to this day. Not sure what happened to the other ones, but apparently only 12 of them are left. Interesting thing about standing stones everywhere. Interesting facts about Newgrange. 1. Newgrange, according to the dating methods, may actually be older than Stonehenge. Number 2. The dimensions of Newgrange are 85 meters or 93 yards in diameter, 13.5 meters or 15 yards in height, and it covers almost exactly 1 acre in its overall area. Number 3. Ireland apparently hosts more than half of all the megalithic structures that are found throughout all of Europe, which is really interesting. Not sure why that is, but that is very interesting. Number 4. Since the mid-1800s, people, both private individuals and government officials of the British Isles, have been at a lot of work to preserve and keep Newgrange from being destroyed or being damaged in some type of way, to make sure no harm comes to it, whether by a person, an animal, weathering, etc. It's also listed on UNESCO's website as a World Heritage Site. And that's all for now. Please like, subscribe, share, and donate to support this channel. I'm going to stop it here for this part of the series. That's the end of part 2. You all have a nice day. I'm out. Peace.